Welcome to Biz Dev Live. My name is Cameron Toth, coming to you Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Today, I'm talking about building your war chest, and particularly your business war chest. I want you to make decisions to save money, to invest in things that are affordable so that over the long term, not only are you building in a way that is good for just profitability, basic operational sustainability, but you're actually thinking about the long term and the legacy that you want to leave behind. So that's what we're talking about. How are you building your war chest today? How are you adding coins to that, right? How are we building that up so that you can take advantage of the opportunities that come when inevitably there are challenges in the economy, in your environment, wherever you're working, all that and more. We're going to get into it. I look forward to your comments and your engagement today as you're watching this. What are you doing to prepare for the future? How have you failed in the past? What did you see or not do that if you had done, you would have been better prepared for the future? Are you building your mental game? Are you building your physical fitness, right? If we don't put an investment into our body, right, we're going to suffer the consequences of that. So don't build straw houses, build castles, make sure you're prepared for the long term, you're fortified, you're protected. All this and more right after the Biz Dev theme. We'll be right back.
Biz Dev Live, Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time, live. Biz Dev Live, Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration, Biz Dev Live, Biz Dev Live, business development, not even selling it. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. This is business development, not even selling it. This is business development, not even selling it. Biz Dev Live, Biz Dev Live, Biz Dev Live. This is business development, not even selling it.
Hey, Maria, thanks for tuning in. How you doing? So glad when anybody is watching this show, talking into the camera. It's always great to see your feedback, where you're viewing from. Get in those comments, engage. I love hearing from you. Today, we're talking about preparing for the future, building the war chest, right? And so some people may have seen, today's graphic and said, well, what the heck is a war chest? What are you talking about? Why we got this bank vault and coins of money? What's that all about? The idea here is war chest is this thing that you have in order to be prepared for all the challenges that come. And I'm getting all, the question, what's the best advice that you can give? I was just in a class yesterday talking to entrepreneurial students. Maria's checking in from NYC. As I know, thank you so much. I know she'll be checking in from some island destination at some point because she's often taking trips, and I'm looking forward to get myself out of town to take advantage of this summer and our ability to travel once again. Thanks for tuning in, Maria. How are you taking care of your mental state, your physical state? Are you getting that vacation in? Are you getting off somewhere? All of these things can be a part of building your war chest, your mental game, your money game, your investment game. And what I think so many people all over the world, it's a very small percentage of people that are actually saving money, building investments, owning businesses. The overall population, so many people, they work for an employer, they're living check to check. That is not the way you want to be. What you want to do is you want to save. And for folks that watch this show, entrepreneurs, business owners, folks that are growth minded, what do we want to do? We want to make sure that we're on the cutting edge with some of the technology and tools so that we're staying up to date, because tomorrow something may change and we need it. Luann and Chris Janewski were in the comments for a post that I put up today, and Chris Janewski was crediting faith in God, so it's spiritually centered, right? Having belief, and I'm not my wife is Catholic. We have gone through the traditional things, but I'm not religious in the traditional sense. But I do consider myself a spiritual person. When it comes to investments, though, and even in people, you have to have faith. You have to have belief. Otherwise, you're going to be rocked by the market. Anybody that's understanding of the stock market, of investments in general, of the world, it's very difficult to time the market and know when to get in and when to get out. So you're setting up investments for the long term. Now, there are going to become opportunities. For example, in February or March, I invested in Dogecoin. And I'm not endorsing crypto. I'm not telling you it's the way, as some people might, but there are opportunities that can pop up. And if you see an opportunity, you want to be in the position to take advantage of it. And so I invested something like $500. Now imagine if I was in a position where if I lost $500, that would be world changing for me. I'm lucky enough that $500 was not a big deal. I could afford to lose $500 if I needed to. I can go spend, $500 on, a day vacation with the kids. You've done it, right? If you got that kind of money, you can go take them to Dorney Park or Six Flags, between the tickets, the transportation, the meals, getting there, getting back, all that stuff you're going to spend. Can you invest that in an investment, right? And so for $500 for me, wasn't life killing. I invested that into Dogecoin. I was able to take advantage of that and was able to pocket $3,000 when I cashed in. And I didn't cash in at the height of it. Again, it's very difficult to time the market. And so I had somebody that, I was talking to about, and they said, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Cash out, get your win. You don't know when, if you're cashing out when you're winning, that's good. That's how you leave the poker table. But you need to put yourself in a position to take advantage of those things. And it might be knowledge, getting your certifications and degrees so that you can take advantage of opportunities that come up for employment, or opportunities with speaking or being a consultant. How are you building up your war chest? How are you thinking about the future? So please let me know, what are the things that you would do, or what do you think, what are the things that you need to do? That's a great way to look at it. Just invest in crypto for the first time. Maria says, let me throw that up there. Yeah. It's really important, and you have to explain what I said that meant made a difference to you, Maria. But the idea there that you could take your money and spend it on a lot of things. Can you take advantage of the opportunity, right? And so, I kind of sold off a lot of the crypto stuff because it was just getting a little too volatile for me, a little bit too much risk. I was like, let me sit it out, and I can buy it when things are trending upward, buy the dip, whatever. But I put $100 into a few different cryptocurrencies, and they were going down, and now they're going up. It's just the nature of the game. I invested in Ford, bought 54 stocks of Ford when it was about $7.40. Again, taking advantage of the opportunity, listening to the market, taking advantage of the information. But you may have a friend that is building a business, and you believe in them, and you think they're going to do awesome, and you have enough money to say, you know what, if I can put this money in and help my friend, I'm happy with that, whether it makes money or I lose my investment. Being in that position to make that bet, though, means you need to be financially comfortable. You need to be building your war chest. Are you ready for the next pandemic? Are you ready for the next financial downturn like we experienced in 2008, 2009? Are you ready for the Twin Towers, to be smashed into by planes and that rocking the economy of your local city or state? What are you doing to be prepared for the next crisis or challenge? How are you building your war chest. So let me know what you're doing to invest in yourself, to put money away. Are you creating automatic payments from your paycheck for your employer or even from your own company? So for myself, I employ myself. I have an S Corp structure for Toth Event Staffing, and we're busy again, thankfully, with Toth Event Staffing. As I pay myself, I have a percentage of that money that automatically goes into a savings account. So I'm never even going to see it in my checking account. And that's one way, just one way that I'm building my war chest on the personal side. On the business side, I'm working on structuring my business in a profit first way. For anybody that hasn't read Mike Michalowicz's book, Profit First, I really highly recommend it. Putting different buckets for your business to take care of. Make sure you have a budget for marketing so that you're growing your business. Maria says she's constantly educating yourself, right? And for me, that's a big deal. And so I am reading multiple books right now. I'm listening to 2 Audible books. I'm listening to Jim Quick's Limitless. I'm also listening to How to Win Friends and Influence People. I've read the book at another point, and I'm revisiting it. Really, really great reading. How are you building your community? When you criticize people, and this is a nugget from How to Win Friends and Influence People, they're almost always going to get defensive, and you're going to have people kind of move away from you. And even if you're in an employee situation, maybe you're paying somebody, so you're the client and they're the vendor. Whenever you criticize somebody, you're pushing them away from you. You're losing trust. You're not gaining their confidence. You're not getting them on your team. So how can you approach the situation where you lift them up, right? So let's say you have a vendor, they haven't come through for you. Maybe the work was less than stellar. You paid for something and you didn't feel like you got it. What's a way you can compliment them while asking them for what you need, rather than starting with, hey, I didn't get, you didn't do, right? Which is an accusation, right? And it may end up being a misunderstanding, and you may have egg on your face. Maybe the email came through on this. Maybe it was communication over here, right? Don't assume the worst, assume the best, and know that if you're working with somebody, there was probably a good reason for you to be working with them. How can you put a compliment into that interaction so that you're lifting that person up and building your team of supporters, your team of fans, the people that want to work with you, that when they're talking to somebody else, put your name out there as somebody they enjoy working with, that they love because of the way that you treat them. When we criticize people, we push people away. When we compliment them and we lift them up, we bring them into our circle. So find ways to talk positively to people, even if they aren't turning you on with the way that they're treating you. Because at the end of the day, whether you choose to do business or with somebody or not is your choice. But you always want to leave that situation with them appreciating who you are and what you do. You never know how the tables were turned, what kind of change is going to go on in somebody's life. They may be battling demons in their own life that you don't know about. Never assume the worst in a person, because inevitably, as I'm talking to you, I have a belief, a faith, as I started this conversation with Chris Januski's comment, faith. I have a faith in you that you're awesome, that you're amazing, that you bring something incredible to the table. You have something amazing to offer. You're intelligent, you're smart, you know what you're doing when you're doing the thing that you're knowledgeable about. And Jacqueline says, at the end of the day, positive wins. Yeah. And, more importantly, right, because people will look at public figures. You could look at, go back in time and look at somebody like Napoleon. You can look at somebody like Trump. These are folks that put out a negative spin. And for me, I'm empathetic for somebody that is constantly criticizing or degrading other people, because I think to myself, that person must be extraordinarily unhappy. That person must be extremely aggravated and conflicted in their brain. Positivity You may see some people out there in the world doing better, quote unquote, doing better. At the end of the day, we don't know what somebody's internal struggle is. Money in the bank, if that's your only goalpost, it's probably not something that's going to actually make you happy. And so, by being positive in our interactions, both with our speak to others and our self talk, we're going to feel better, we're going to be better, and we're going to get more of what we want to get done. What's your life's mission? What's your life's goal? How are you working towards that? How are you bringing people into your circle? How are you putting money into the savings account? How are you building profit, not only into your company so that you can pay yourself and have some money, extra money so that you can have months of expenses on end, right? We know that today, much more important than maybe even it was 15, 16 months ago, because we understand how long a challenge can go and how much the world can change and flip on a dime. But this is the really important thing. Are you building profit and growth into your company by also having a bucket above and beyond the profit margin that allows you to pay yourself and have a little extra, but also a bucket to actually build and scale your company so that you can buy that building, buy that vehicle, buy the castle, and build the moat to protect not only your livelihood, but the livelihood of the people that work with you. Warren Buffett talks about liking to buy businesses with moats. And what he talks about a moat, what he's talking about is as you get better at your skill or service, right, you build a certain reputation and a level of production that is difficult to match. As you gain experience within your industry, you're going to know more because you've done more. Look at a company like Coca-Cola that Warren Buffett invested in. Moats that they built, brand recognition. It would be very difficult to have the same kind of brand recognition for any new brand that Coca-Cola has. It would be very difficult for any new company to build the research and development department with the war chest of money that Coca-Cola has on hand. They built a moat around their business. They built relationships, distribution. The larger they have become, the more of a moat they have built to protect their industry, their product, their services. You can look at companies going back where they didn't build strong enough moats. Smith Corona that, thought, computers weren't a thing. They didn't invest in new technology. You look at Ford, who, I just was talking about that I invested in, the idea that they have a company that had big product, big brand recognition, but they weren't investing enough in the future. And so their stock went down and their ability to gain a profit went down because even though they have a large moat, other people were able to jump up and get quicker because they did not have an eye to the future, did not look at tools. So while they're sitting on their castle with the bows and arrows, other people are firing, rifles with with sights because they weren't looking to new technology. So you had a startup like Tesla that came out and garnered market share for a product they could have been developing and delivering faster and cheaper than just about any other company if they had put their mind to it. Again, Ford, the originator of the assembly line, if anybody could have done it faster and better than Tesla and Elon Musk, they certainly had the ability to. And now it's very interesting as they're building a pickup truck, which is the number one profitable product in that space. They're making an electric pickup truck that's now, hopefully for Ford, going to dominate the market and be a profit puppy for them so that they can resecure and rebuild that large moat that they once had for their product. So encourage you, love to hear your feedback on your struggles, challenges, questions around building a moat for your business, building a castle rather than a straw house, right? And what is a straw house in a business? A straw house is an asset or something that's not really an asset, right? So I build up this house, right, that's made of straw, but the wind comes down and now I'm spending time, pulling it back together and not working on my business. Meanwhile, if I build a castle or at least a sturdy structure, I can spend time focusing on my business and not keeping the walls up. Similarly, if I buy a vehicle for myself personally or for my business that is more than I can really afford, there's payments on it, then I'm chasing my tail if I have to go find money to pay this for this vehicle. Meanwhile, if I buy a used vehicle that I can pay for in full, it's cheaper to insure, it's easier to maintain. Maybe I'm buying a car that I researched, like a Toyota Corolla that's going to get a ton of miles, versus something that is going to be less reliable and that I have to make large payments on, right? That's a straw house versus something that is going to be a structure for me that allows me to earn profit and not take away from my profit. So we want to make sure that we're focused on castles and moats and not straw houses. How are you building your war chest? Make sure that you start today, if you've not automatically started creating automatic deposits, so to a saving account on the personal side, and then for your business, making sure that you're making these buckets, which should be separate bank accounts, so that you can really track your money the right way. Have a revenue account, have a profit account, a marketing account, taxes account, so that you can build the piles of money into these separate buckets. That doesn't mean that you have to spend all the money on those things, but you have those war chests ready to go. In case of a challenge, in case of a crisis, you're ready to make the investment. You're ready to take on the challenge, because if you're worrying less about how you're going to get through tomorrow and next week and then next month, and you're worried more about how to grow your company, guess what? You're going to be focused on growing your company, not just making it through the week or the month. I hope this has been helpful. If it was helpful to you, make sure you share it to somebody. Go to the YouTube channel, search up BizDev Live, hit that subscribe button. If you can search on YouTube for Cameron Toth or BizDev Live, you'll find me. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button on these videos. Help me out so I can keep bringing this to you and find sponsorship. Really appreciate you. Have an amazing day. Maria and Jacqueline, thanks for tuning in and commenting. I appreciate you so much. I'm going to play us out with the BizDev theme, and I will see you tomorrow. And we will be jumping into another amazing topic, which is just gone away from my mind, but it'll be fun. I'll be posting about it soon.
BizDev Live, BizDev Live. Weekdays at 11 Eastern Time, live. BizDev Live, BizDev Live. Weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration, BizDev Live, BizDev Live. Business development, not even selling it. BizD with C, brought to you by Cameron T. BizD with C, brought to you by Cameron T. This is business development, not even selling it. This is business development, not even selling it. BizDev Live, BizDev Live.